gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from. This is JP. Welcome to the Midweek Loop. Hope you're well. On this side over here is the multi-chat. So if you say hi, it'll come up here. So hi, how are we doing? Good afternoon. Welcome to, where are we? About 2:40 on a Wednesday afternoon. This is JP, Jump on Music UK. Just reaching over here for this little laptop stand thing, just to put my mouse on because the camera's all the way over there. Hi, hope we're well. Hello to Bob, hello to Steve, hope we're all doing well. A couple of things before we get going on this live stream. First of all, this live stream is sponsored. It's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. DistroKid is a music distribution company. There's a QR code. Now let me get this right. Which way are we? That way. There. Where if you can actually click that or scan it. There's also in the description box below a link, which is that link at the bottom, and that'll take you to DistroKid's website. If you're looking to release music for 2023, now going into 2024, most music distributors, you need a music distributor. Most of them will actually charge you for every release that you've ever made, and DistroKid charge you one price per year, which starts at $22.99. And we don't just have that as a code. We also have a QR code, which is right here. There we go. Goodness me, there's lots of things on the screen. Let me just take one of these things off. There we go. So if you scan that QR code or that one, that's the same one, then it's going to give you 7% off. But also at the same time, it's going to give you access to release as much music as you want. Sorry, I had an itchy nose. So you can release as much music as you want to for an entire year, which is fantastic. And you're going to be able to obviously play around with that. They have loads of different things, like you've got the way you can release music to obviously lots of different channels. You've also got the promo cards you can use. They actually generate promo cards for you. So my last couple of videos, I've been talking about my latest song, which is called Stray. Stray is coming out in just under 2 weeks' time. It's coming out October the 13th. Yes, Friday the 13th. But for some people, it's lucky. So I'm bringing it out via DistroKid, of course. And if you want to obviously have a look how I did that, have a look at my last couple of videos about using the bass synth and using those amazing headphones by Focal. And there's a couple of other things that I've used as well. There's something that's behind me that I'm not going to show you right now. That's coming out. The video for that's coming out very, very soon. Where we use that for the solo. It's a guitar. But I'm going to show you what guitar it is next week. So I just wanted to obviously say thank you for DistroKid for sponsoring the live stream. That QR code is going to stay there for its entirety. I don't know what's happened with the chat. I'm just going to turn the overlay off and turn it back on again. There we go. Hopefully that's all right. If it is all right, then say hello in the chat. For those of you who are not familiar with my sort of format, what we do is we basically do it where I've got my looping rig. Looping rig is on the floor. That's this kind of screen that's just down here. I'm going to swap it round so I'm in the corner. So there we go. And this is what I use when I gig live. Now I've actually got a gig. I've got a really itchy nose. I've got a gig in about a week or two time, and then also I'm playing at the Cavern in Liverpool, in famous Liverpool Cavern, because I'm actually a finalist in Battle of the Buskers, which is cool. And I actually use this setup because this setup is now completely battery powered. I can actually take this anywhere. I can take it on stage. I can take it into the street as long as I've got a PA that's battery powered as well, which is really, really cool. So just to give you the rundown for those who are interested, at the top is the Boss RC600, which is a 6-track looper. If you want it to be, you don't have to use all 6 tracks if you don't want to. It's got effects on board. It's got lots of different things on board as well. Underneath that, the big black one here is the TC Helicon Voice Live Play Acoustic, and that's got a load of my effects that you might have heard there. There's a bass sound. There's a radio sound, so it sounds a little bit like I'm talking through a radio. We've got loads of different sounds that I use with this, including this one, which is Barry White. There we go. Hey, baby. And then we've got things like harmonies as well. Now, the RC600 at the top there can actually do sounds like that, but the harmonies ones you've got to sort of program in or use MIDI, whereas the TC Helicon uses a thing called natural play, so you just play your guitar and it figures out what chord it is. And I've got a little switcher there. I'm not really using that today. I'm only using one guitar today. I've got a volume pedal here, and that volume pedal is for the volume of the loops. And then there's this little pedal in the corner just here, and that's literally just to change memories. So if I go like that, it'll change the memory for me, and that's it. And I'm just making sure you can still hear me. Yes, you can. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of different things today, because I wanted to obviously to talk to you about obviously looping. The other thing that I have as well is if you want to get into looping but you're not sure where to start, I have a brand new, new course. I was going to say brand new. It's been out for 1 or 2 months, but it's a new course which I've been asked to do many, many times, and loads of people ask me when they book the sessions with me, because you can book one-to-one time with me if you want to. And I've been asked, do you do a looping course, just a basic looping course, how to get started? And I do this one, which is called Master the Basics. It's a beginner's looping course about mastering the basics of looping. And it's $97, a one-off fee. And the great thing is you can pay for it over 4 installments. So you can actually get it for $25 a month. And then if you put the word subscriber in the checkout, you'll get 5% off. So I'm just obviously showcasing that as well, because this is Loop Lab Master the Basics, my beginners looping course. For anyone who's interested, then obviously give that QR code a scan. It's also in the description box as well. Right. I've been asked a couple of questions over the past couple of weeks, and I just want to address them regarding looping, not necessarily specifically with the RC600, but some things in general. The first one being actually about, I had a question that was actually on my course. I do an RC600 course as well. And someone asked me on the course, I thought that's worth sharing that question, but also sharing the answer, or my version of the answer. There's a couple of different ways you can do what they were asking. So the question was, you've got 6 tracks on the RC600 down there, and how do we do a verse chorus but keep everything separated? So what they meant by that was, if they want to put I'll switch this around so I can show you. If they want to basically say this track here, you got 1, 2, and 3, and then you press a button and you go over to 4, 5, and 6. And yes, I haven't got any shoes on. You're just going to have to get used to it. What I normally do is I split everything up, so I have a sort of drums on 1 and a bass on track 2 and harmonies on track 3. But what if you want to do that, but then also you want to do it in like a verse and a chorus mode? So the idea behind this is obviously that there's 2 ways we could do it. There's one where we could split it up into 2 RC300s, and that's been discussed before on the channel. There's a couple of other people who've actually talked about that on different channels. But the other way to do it, and yes, I'm wobbling the microphone and the stand because I've just realized it's in the wrong position, but never mind. The other way to do it is actually to use different memories. So this system has 99 different memories to use, and what we can do is we can utilize them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very quickly step through to a different memory. There we go. So you may or may not be able to see that in the corner there. You can see I've got some loops on here already. And this is called Senorita. And this is my memory number 23. It doesn't matter which memory it is. It's memory number 23. And this is Justin Timberlake's song, Senorita. So what I'm going to do is I've got 6 tracks. So I've got 1, 2, 3. And then we press this button and go 4, 5, 6. And then we've got the effects on the 3rd page. So if I play this now, by the way, just bear in mind it is a little loud because it's meant for end of night kind of stuff when you're dancing around. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to obviously hit play on this. You're going to hear the main part of Senorita. Just bring them in individually. Okay, this is track 4. You may know this song, you may not. Senorita, I feel for you. Right? But then that's all fine, but then there's a problem. And the problem is that there's another section to the song. Another section is, when I look into your eyes. All that bit, okay? It's completely different chord structure, completely different chords. So what do? We've used all 6 tracks, and we want to keep them all separate because we want to turn them on and off. We want to maybe turn the bass off, turn the bits off. Then what do? We've used up all 6 tracks. How are we going to get the bridge bit, as it were? So what I've done is I've created another memory. And what's really clever is with this looper is when you actually press play and then you go to another memory, it will play and you can set it up to what's called end of the loop. So when it gets to the very end of the loop, it'll then jump over to the next one. So I've got everything set up the same way, but on memory number 24, we've got Senorita 2. And this is actually not the same bits. It's actually the breakdown. Hi everyone, by the way. So I'm just going to basically go over to here. So we've got, just to give you a rough guesstimate of what we're doing, this is Senorita, and I've got them all separate into separate loops. Bring them all back in. Here's the bass, the main riff. Here's our little harmonies. These are little percussive bits. Now the problem is, just turn that down. You can hear the drums in the background there. So I've got the rhythm going as well. So there's 7 different things going on at the same time there, plus me playing and singing as well. So how do we get from this to the next section? Well, if you have a look on mode 2, which is if you press this button, you get to tracks 4, 5, and 6. There's the rhythm, and I can start and stop that when I want to. Put a nice little samba-y beat on. And then this one is blue. And I've changed this one. So on mode 2, button 9, you'll be able to watch this on the replay if you want to take notes. Don't take notes. Just watch the live stream, and then you can take notes if you want to replicate this. This works for any song. But basically, mode 2, button 9, this is memory up, as in going up for memory. Now, if I didn't have this button with me, I could press this button, and it's going to go up to the other memory, which is the breakdown. This is Senorita 2, so this is the breakdown bit of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press that button. I'm going to ignore the FS7 for a second. I'm going to go back down. I'm just going to bring everything in. I'm going to press this blue button and then watch what happens very carefully on here. Ready? Press it now. When I look into your eyes. This is a completely different memory, completely different song technically. Now if I didn't press this button to go back down again, it'd carry on again. Watch. So it's just the breakdown going around over and again. Go back down to Senorita. Senorita, I feel great thing is, I can turn everything on and off, and when we bring our guys back in, because they're turned off on track 4, one more time. So there we go. So someone asked me that question. Basically, what can you do if you've got certainly for the routing of the looper. So if I've got my drums going to one place, I've got my bass going to a bass amp, I've got my guitar going to a guitar amp, and then that's all sorted. But then I want to be able to then use all 6 tracks to add everything separately, but then I need a chorus, I need a verse, I need a bridge, I need a solo. So as long as you've got them in order, you can do this as much as you want to, and this is really, really, really good. So the next memory automatically plays. Steve, yes, absolutely it does. And here's the really clever part. If you could plan it really, really well, what I've done is I haven't got anything playing on track 4 on the second bit. So let me show you. Sorry. Let me do that. There we go. So if you have a look very, very carefully, this is Senorita 2, this is the second bit. On track 4, there's no circle there, there's no loop circle there. And I can prove that by going over to here. So these are blue as opposed to white. I hope that shows up there. There's a little bit of a blue hint there. So there's nothing there. And the reason why that's important is because I haven't got any harmonies going. I've got harmonies going on, but not in the same location. So when I go back down, it won't play track 4 because there was nothing to play in the first place, which is that. So this has been very cleverly organized, if I do say so myself. And, oh, hello you, Pierce. I wondered what happened on Monday. Monday, yes, I wasn't around Monday. Just the way it was, just the way it happens. Sometimes we're here on Mondays, sometimes we're here on Tuesdays, and sometimes we're here on a Wednesday. So if you catch me on a Monday, it's Loop Lab Mondays. If you catch me on a Tuesday, it's Tuesday Tunes. If you catch me on a Wednesday, it's the midweek loop. There we go. That's what I'm calling each day. And that means it gives me a little bit of flexibility, but there we go. So I try and do at least a live stream a week. If it's Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, it depends on what's happening here. Yeah, there we go. Here's a job for Pierce, if Pierce is around. From what you can see right now, other than my ugly mug, what has changed? I'll let you think about that for a second. What's changed? What looks different apart from that? Ignore that. What's changed? What can you see that's different? Ooh, now he's going like this. So I wanted to just address this. I had this question come up in my loop course, which is the RC600 course. If you are interested in that, then I answer the questions obviously directly on the course. So this is the course all about the RC600. We have over 57 different videos now, completely from the beginning, right up to some really advanced stuff. We go real deep into it. It's $197. You can pay 4 months at $50 each, or you obviously, whichever way you go, you can put basically the word subscriber in to get 5% off. Have a look. That'll just take you to the page and it'll show you what's going on. Camera's not wobbling. No, it's not, is it? It was before. Hang on a minute. I've got to do this for Pierce now, everything. There you go. Wobbly. Yeah. It's attached to the mic stand, mate. And I'm just trying to make sure that I don't touch the mic stand with my mouth. So there we go. There's quite a lot of echo reverb on here. No, the camera's not wobbling. You're absolutely right, but that's not what's different. Yes. What's different in this picture? Oh. I'm not telling you. You got to guess. Anyway, moving swiftly on. So yeah, the great thing is with this works. Sorry, let me just move back to me. Hi. This works. This idea of having different memories for different parts of the song works on an RC5, an RC500, an RC300, an RC600, a 505, a 505 Mark II. As long as it's playing and you go to the next memory, it will seamlessly play the next memory. Okay. Now the older ones, things like the 300, sometimes you go, and it's a bit weird. Any of the ones that's got the new engine in, the 32-bit engine, no, not new main camera, keep guessing. Equipment, that's all I'm going to say. In this box, you can see something that's different. You'll get it eventually. So basically, anything that's got the new engine in is real quick, and it's because it's this new 32-bit engine. So I say new. I mean, it's been out. How long has this RC600 been out now? It's been out. Oh, are we talking a while? What you can do is I'll give you an example, which is going to sound flipping weird, but because just to showcase this. I've got Senorita, and then the next one after that is Love Shack, okay? So I'm going to go to Senorita, I'm going to go upper memory, and then I'm going to upper memory again. Now, I haven't designed it that way with the button. So what I've done is, on the first patch, I've gone memory up here. On the second patch, the same button is memory down, okay? Now, if you don't need to control the rhythm independently here, then you could have maybe memory up, memory down for every patch. Or if you've got an FS6 or FS7 pedal, you can just do it here, okay? So therefore, you wouldn't need that button to be altered. And this works incredibly well. So what I'm going to do is just to showcase that it works, I'm going to go to Senorita, I'm going to go to the next part of Senorita, and then the next one up from that, as I said, is Love Shack. So that's the first memory. Here we go, here we go. Moving up to Love Shack. See that? Sugar. Let's go down the memory. You ready? Let's go down 2. Back to it. Different tempos, different sounds, different drum kits, everything that you ever wanted. Yes, I've got white socks on, get used to it. And no, that's not the reason either. New socks? Yes, they are new socks, actually. Thanks for noticing. I don't normally play in socks. I've just been not putting my shoes on in the house as much. Well, there we go. So this also leads to the next question, and the question I get a lot. Can I have a different drum kit completely when I get to a variation or a different section? Sort of, within the one memory. So within the one memory, you can do a variation of a track, and then you can use the signs and program them up if you want to. The alternative is, if you've got another section of song, duplicate what you've done onto the next memory, delete the bits you don't need, and change what you want, and then that way... Changing your name to Dirk? Dirk? No, not that. I'm going to tell you in a minute, don't worry, because I don't think you're going to get it. It's very subtle. It's very subtle. I'm pointing to it over here. It's very subtle. Anyway, so anyone who's been asking the question recently, because I've been getting a couple of questions, can I change the drum kit completely from one kind of drum kit to another within the same memory? Not really, without a lot of programming. Can I change the tempo? Not really, unless you've programmed it up and then everything sounds all warbly and weird and chipmunky or anything like that. Can I change the variation? Yes, you can, absolutely. But if you want to change things, you've got 99 memories in your head too. Earl Pierce has got it. What's that? What's that? Oh, well then. Basically, with any of the memories, you've got 99 memories, and as long as you don't need 99 songs, then if you're doing like a 2-hour set, you've got 30 or 40 songs, something like that, what you're doing, then you can program it up in a certain way where you could say, well, I just need the next version to be this one, and then we can go memory up and memory down. And you don't need to program any buttons up if you've got an external. If you've got an FS6, FS7 pedal, FS5. If you just need to go up, if you're going to go back down, you can go, as long as you do it within the time frame of the loop, you can go like, I just went from down 2 memories within the loop, as long as it sits on there before you get to the end. So it's very, very easy which way you can do it. Steve asked a good question, actually. So let me just go back to what Steve just asked. He said, he first of all said this, so the memory plays automatically. Yes, it does. As long as that's playing, and also as long as there's something on there. Okay, if there's nothing on there, then it won't play. So I hope that makes sense. So this is the question. So, do you have to program which track it plays as it goes up? No, you don't. If there's a track on there, it will play it. If there's no track on there, it won't. Let me give you this example. So in Senorita 2, which is the breakdown bit, which is the one I'm on right now, you'll have a look at track 4, and there's nothing on there. So we won't play because there's nothing on there. That makes sense. So if I just do this now, there's nothing there. There's nothing on track 4. Turn that down a bit. So there's nothing on track 4 there. Hence why, if I now go down a memory, I did it too early there, but track 4 is no longer playing. So track 4 isn't playing, and that's because there was no track 4 to play on the previous memory. I hope that makes sense. Now, one thing you've got realizing that there is literally just going to the next memory. It'll do it on the nearest bar by default. You don't have to program anything up at all, nothing at all. And that's why it happened early on when I did it. If you do it close to, like, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and it kick, as long as you do it after 1, then that's it. You'll be able to sort it. So there we go. Changing the name to Dirk. Yes, my name is Dirk. I'm not here enough to know. No, it's fine. Pierce is here a lot, so I thought I'd ask. Yeah, there we go. The long distance logo isn't great. No, that's fine. So for those who are familiar with the channel, hi, by the way. For those who aren't, hello, welcome. My name is JP. Welcome to John Paul Music UK. I normally use a PA which is called the Mackie Reach, R-E-A-C-H, and you could get it second-hand now, but you can't get it new because it's been discontinued. It's an all-in-one speaker. Hi, Liz. It's an all-in-one speaker, and basically with that, it's a fantastic piece of kit. It's plugged in. It's a full PA. It's 700 watts. I know someone who picked one up for about 300 quid. It retailed at $1,000, which is amazing, and you can get it for about 300 quid. There's 4 ins, which is really, really cool. It's got its own little app as well for Bluetooth, and then you've also got an outs for it as well. It's a full-blown, cool PA speaker, on par, I would say personally, with those sort of like thin, tubey Bose ones, and also the thumps. I'd probably say that they're not as powerful because it's 700 watts. This is battery powered. This is the brand new Thrash 212 Go. Now the Thrash, I wasn't going to talk about this, but the Thrash is the entry level for Mackie. Then they've got the Thump, and then they've got the SRMs and all the pro touring stuff. But the Thrash, this is a 300 watt speaker, and in a room this size, it's still well loud enough. It's got 2 ins, and there's a battery in the back. There is no power cable on here right now as I speak, and it goes for 10 hours. It's really flipping loud, which is really, really good. It's also got Bluetooth as well, so you can Bluetooth your phone onto it, which is really cool. I'm going to be doing a full video about this a little bit later, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out in the street with this monster. If you think about this, just to put it into context, the Street Cube EX, is it EX? The big Street Cube is 50 watts. This is 300. Okay, so there we go. Battery fast, absolutely. So just to put this into context right now, apart from plugging USB in, that's what I've got. I've got the USB plugged into the RC600 so you guys can hear what I'm doing. Apart from that, this entire pedal board is now battery powered. Because I've got a battery in the back here, and I did a video all about that, which is a really cool battery. And now, so is this. I could go busking with this entire setup and then do the same setup in a pub. It's the dream! It's the dream I've dreamt since I was a young boy. If I can get rid of all cables, I will. But the thing is, obviously, the next thing is to get rid of all the cables. Now, I am actually cabled in today because guess who forgot to charge his little guitar thing? And that's the most important thing. Charge stuff up. When you've got batteries, that's the hard part about it. So a couple of pieces of love. Liz, how we doing? We okay? Hope we're okay. So all good. Batteries. Now the great thing is, this is an internal external battery. So it's a battery box that you can charge up individually, but also you can take it out. So it's not like AA batteries or anything like that. It's a dedicated battery box. And then when that runs out, you can just buy another battery box. It's on the accessory part of Mackie's website. Awesome. Love that. So I'm really, really happy with that, which is really cool. So there we go. So when the battery dies, it's going to burn down the whole house. It's not massively powerful. I mean, it's going to be all right. I mean, you know, we've got batteries and everything now. Laptops, mobile phones, iPads, Android devices, you name it, it's got batteries in. These lights that I'm using are battery powered. So, you know, it's the way it is, I suppose. Anyway, back to looping, shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? No, we won't, because what we're going to do is we're going to say this. This live stream is sponsored. It's sponsored by our friends at DistroKid. DistroKid is a music distribution company. If you've got music and you want to put it out there in the world, DistroKid can help you. They can send it out to all the online stores, digital music sites around the world. My accent went really weird then. And places like Apple Music, Spotify, things like that. And I am releasing a brand new song, which is called Stray. It's coming out on Friday, the 13th in October. And where you can download it on Friday the 13th. If you're on Spotify, you can pre-save it now, but I used these guys to release it. And if you think about other music distributors, they charge you one price for every single release. They charge you like per release. DistroKid don't do this. They charge you one price per year, and it starts at $22.99. And with the QR code, you can save 7%. So if you want to think about this, all the Christmas music that you've been thinking about making, you know, all the covers, you can do covers with them as well, but it costs extra money to do covers. All the new music for 2024. We're now in October, so you could actually release as much music as you want from October 23 to October 24 for that price. And they do loads of different things. The brand new thing they do right now is a thing called Playlister. Playlist is awesome. So I'm using Playlister for my new song Stray, which basically is what kind of song is it or what kind of genre it is. You look at it and it searches the Spotify playlists for that genre, and then it gives you the details for the people who actually run that playlist. So you can email and go, hey, I've got a new song, bang it on a playlist, and then bang it on 50 playlists, and then, you know, you're going to get more plays. It's going to be great. So they do loads of different things like promo cards and splits. Have a look at the website by scanning the QR code. There's also a link in the description box as well. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. These guys right here, why didn't that disappear? There you go. Sponsored by DistroKid. Thanks. Right, let's turn that off. Oh, wrong way around. Oop, highly professional, as everyone knows. There we go. Where's that gone? There it is. What? What you saying? My long distance logo recognition isn't great. Yeah, it's not lit up. Little green light, but it's not the actual. It's not lit up like the other one. Anyway, so whilst I speedily go back down to all my different songs, right, there we go. So I get loads of questions about this board, this pedally boardy. Let's do that. There we go. That's a nice look, isn't it? You can see both. That's all right. I can just point to there and go there. So, I'm just running at 500 miles an hour at the moment. Do you want to play a song? Shall I play a song? Let's play a song. Helicopters hover over to pick up the poor and the posh. The country watches the horror as the cars roll around in the wash. They're facing fear and anguish. People feel there is no hope. The lower bridge is lost, my friend. I'm gonna throw it. The big rig punching through a sandstorm. The casino flying through the harbor. Look on her side, she doesn't look back. I was guessing you would live again. The elephant in the ocean guards the harbor day and night. Wind will test those fishing boats and feel the briny might. The river slows its pace now and reveals the damage done. Close your eyes, sleep well tonight. The compass stars will go and the skies are plain to see. Night in a peaceful village just keeps amazing me. Don't let this one event wash away the cobwebs of men. Close your eyes, sleep well tonight. By Scasher, you will live again. Big rain punching through a sandstorm. The casino flying through the harbor. With look on her side, she doesn't look back. By Scasher, you will live again. Big rain punching through a sandstorm. The casino flying through the harbor. With look on her side, she doesn't look back. By Scasher, you will live again. So you will live again. By Scasher, you will live again. Bascasso, 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 you will live again. Rain punching through a sandstorm. The casino flying through the harbor. With luck on her side, she doesn't look back. Bascasso, you will live again. Big rain punching through a sandstorm. The casino flying through the harbor. With luck on her side, she doesn't look back. Bascasso, you will live again. Bascasso, you will live again. So if you're not sure, that is one of my songs called Boss Castle. It's available everywhere. And yeah, you can probably guess who I used to release it. Right, okay, so just to break that song down, real simple on the looping because it's actually quite simple. The guitar I'm using today is red. I know it's called a red. It's actually called red. That's, oh, wrong way. That's Lucky Lime. I need to change the strings on Lucky Lime because I broke one. They're over there. I'll change them later. So we're using red today. I think red strings are a bit tired, so we're going to change red strings as well. And anyway, moving on. The reason I'm talking about that is because red is in Dadgad. I like playing in Dadgad. There we go. So this song, Boss Castle, the way I devised it was around looping, actually. It was that little phrase. And then obviously there's a chorus. Goes back. So that's pretty much the whole song in terms of chords. So we start with this track here, which is track 1, which is the drums. So we start with, and then we added the boom, boom, boom. Now, one of the effects I use on this is actually a harmony, and I use that. You probably heard that then. But then I also use it for doing different things. Good song, slaps, thanks. So if I go, so for the old beatboxing, then if I go boom, 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 and I turn this on, it's 2 extra voices, so it just adds a little bit more. So. So there we go. Now I use the bass actually this time on the RC600, and I've actually on my setup, which you can get my setup by the way. If you want to get the setup I use for this, you can get it. If you want to find out more, then let me know. I've changed this button, and I've done a video all about how to customize the buttons on this channel, if you want to go and watch it. By the way, this channel, I mean YouTube. I know we're actually streaming on like LinkedIn, we're streaming on Twitch, we're streaming on Facebook as well, on the Facebook page. But on the YouTube channel, if you go to my videos, there's a video all about customizing this. Anyway, on this button here, this is now the bass. And that is the G to B effect. So everyone asks me what effect that is. Guitar to bass effect, G to B effect, 70% mode 2. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what that means. So then, obviously, loop number 2 is just that. It's just the bass. I went over it twice on the first part. Shouldn't have really done that because it gives a little bit of phasing, a little bit of disparity. But hey-ho, we're only human, aren't we? Now, the other effect is actually on here, and this is a radio effect, putting a little radio effect on, which is this noise. Now that's that effect, and then also I leave that effect on for the first verse. The whole point of the song Boscastle is about a town called Boscastle in the UK, which flooded. And the idea behind the verse is actually that you're hearing the news about it on the radio. That was the idea, anyway. As the stream turns into ocean, we use that. And then everything kicks in, and I don't actually start playing the guitar until the first link in between the two verses. But by that point, everyone's kicked in. So we have... And then the only thing I do is I turn off the third one. So I turn the third one off because you don't want to hear that all the time. So we have these two chugging away. We just add the guitar just playing muted. So just... We're in D. And that's our verses. When we get to the chorus, it's actually just a G and an A. And then we go back to where we were. But to add a little more emphasis on the second time round, use the harmonies a little bit, and then we go. Big wave punching through the sandstone, like a seagull flying through the harbor. With look on her side, she doesn't look back, but so you will live again. And there we go. And you can mess around with it, depends on what you want to do. It's all fun and games. Very good question. Did you live in Boscastle or at the time, or just something you saw on the news and caught your ear? Actually, the third option, which was we went on holiday there, and they have a like a centre about the flood that happened ages ago. But it's the amazing story about it is that everyone survived. Everyone. There was not a single fatality. There was, people got injuries and things, but no one died, which was amazing. And that's what really got me, because there's when you walk through the centre, you then walk through and they were like, and there's a marker with like pen, like the flood was here, and it's like way up, and you're like, oh right, okay. And then because we're on holiday there for a week, it's a lovely area. Not that I'm here to promote Boscastle. If you want to go to see Boscastle, it's a lovely place. But the single Boscastle is available if you want to go and listen to it. But that's the song. That's how I use it. So on this scenario, I'm using this like an RC300, and I do that a lot. I don't use a lot of the time. I don't use more than 3 or 4 of the different loops. I don't use all 6 all the time. I could do. I could split the drums up into 3 different things, but then it's more pedal dancing. I'm very, very particular when it comes to the looper. And everyone's got their way. Everyone's got their groove. What you've learned over the past 10, 15 years. So for me, 9 times out of 10, track 1 is the drums, track 2 is the bass, and track 3 is the harmony. And that's because I learned my chops with an RC300, really. and I've kind of stuck that way. And then as I've got more tracks and stuff, I've been able to just play around with it. And that's just the way it is. The great thing is, of course, you can change these buttons. So if you want all 6 tracks on these, you can do. But then you've got to double tap each one to turn them off. And while you're playing, sometimes you can hit that wrong. I just want simplicity. I'm sure most people do. So I just wanted to give you that and show you that just as an example. But yeah, there we go. There's Boss Castle. Now, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. This live stream is sponsored. It's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. DistroKid is a music distribution company. If you've got music that you want to get out there, DistroKid can help you. So if you scan the QR code, you're going to get 7% off your annual membership, as opposed to paying for every single release. You just pay annually. I'm actually on the Musicians Plus version, which is $39.99, and that gives me access to a couple of extra things. First of all, 2 different artists. You can release in 2 different artists. So there's me as John Paul, and then me and my mate Greg basically are Tokyo Wasteland. So we release as 2 different outfits. And then also, you can schedule the date of release. You can schedule the pre-order date if you want to. If you're brand new to music, you're brand new to releasing music, then what I would highly recommend is just get the bass one, because people go, oh, schedule the release and schedule it. And don't bother, just get it out there. Get as much music out there as you can before Christmas, because if you want to then go, oh, I'm a musician, they go, cool, where's your stuff? Oh, it's on SoundCloud. Brilliant. How much money are you making out of that? Nothing, or very little. But the fact is as well, it's just like, well, I don't listen to stuff on SoundCloud. I listen to stuff on Amazon Music, or I listen to stuff on Spotify or Apple Music. This way your stuff's out there in more than one place, and then therefore the audience can choose how they listen to your music. Also, your music is available, if you want to, on social media. So you can actually have it on Instagram, like mine is, on Facebook, like mine is, on TikTok, like mine is. And you can use my music in your reels. And guess who gets paid? This guy. So you can use it like that if you want to. So there's people who've gone viral with music that's in there, and people want to use. There was a song a couple of years ago, which AKA Wonderlust. And everyone was using it in their reels, and it's just like, how much money must they get just from that? Millions and millions of people. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. Give this QR code a scan, or click the link in the description. I'll say that again without foaming at the mouth. Click that link that's in the description box, and then have a look at DistroKid. There we go. Thanks very much. Now, another question that I got asked. If you've got a question, by the way, now is the time to ask. If you've got questions about looping, if you've got questions about, obviously, not just this box, but any looping, like how do you start looping? Well, how you start looping is you scan that QR code right there. This is my basics course about looping. It's $97, but you can actually pay for it in 4 monthly installments. Listen to me, I sound like an advert. It's because I am. And you can and you can obviously learn the basics of looping, and we go through both. For not just pedals, we go through tabletop loopers, we go through an app. We use Loopy Pro as an example. So if you want to have a look at looping in its entirety, Master the Basics is there for you. So if you haven't scanned that QR code, then just go to johnpaulmusic.co.uk, have a scrolly down, and you'll find my courses there. Now, questions. I get loads of questions about the RC600. I don't want to alienate everyone if you've got a different looper, but one of the questions I get a lot is, you always do the... Oh, look at this. Thank you so much. Oh, the courses are ace. Thanks. Thank you very much. That's really, really nice of you to say so. That's really, really good. Paris has got a question. How do I start looping? I press that button there, and then at the end of the loop, I press it again. That's true. But I'll tell you right now, learning to loop when you're playing an instrument, it's my nearest analogy for it is like drummers. Drummers are probably going to be very good at looping because they can separate their feet from their hands. And if you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but your feet are actually tapping on the and, you're going to be out of time with yourself. So you have to unlearn tapping your feet and then re-tapping your feet, or clicking your fingers, or clapping your hands, whatever you're going to do, because it is down to timing. And if you go right back to the basics, and what I found by making the basics course was I had to myself kind of go further back for me, because I was like, well, everyone knows that, surely, it's a given. People don't know how to kind of create a loop. by tapping and have an internal metronome. Things like that. But if you haven't got that, or you need a bit of help with that, there's a couple of loopers, quite a lot of loopers now have a rhythm section. You can see the looper is flashing away there, or is it there? This is quite a nice setup. We're going to keep it like this, as opposed to small and large. It's flashing away there. That's got a tempo on it. Now I can override that tempo, and then I can tell it don't go to that tempo, or I can follow that tempo. So with the greatest respect, and this is also why I'm not wearing shoes and wearing I'm just not wearing shoes, just wearing socks. I've now armed that tempo, and I'm going to start that tempo. Now the tempo's going. 1, 2, 3, and. Right? Think of it like a band. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I can't help myself. But now the tempo's going. It's the RC600. It's the looper. Doesn't matter if it's an RC600. It's the looper that's dictating the BPM. If there was no tempo going and you start going and you put a loop down, you're dictating the BPM. But because this is, it's kind of going to help you get in time a little bit. So, now if I turn the rhythm off, sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? It sounds a bit funky and funny. And it's because it can take a while to actually get a good rhythm down or a good groove down with a drummer. You know, if you look at, if you've ever been in a band and it's like, oh, the guitarist just doesn't follow the drum, he's playing too fast or he's playing too slow. This is what you're doing with the rhythm section. So this is what can happen, and it takes a bit of time to get used to it. And don't be afraid of that, and don't worry about that. Now, there's a really cool thing you can do with these loopers, which is before loop. And what you can do is you don't have to press the rhythm section, you can just press loop, like just hit it, and it'll start the rhythm first, and it'll wait, and it's like the loop's armed, and then you press it a second time, and then it'll record. So just give me a second, I'm going to change this over to before loop, and I want to show you that example. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, so in the rhythm section, what I've done is I've told it to be before loop. So, the rhythm started, but it's not looping. Do you see that? It's flashing like crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what happened there? What happened there was I pressed the button before bar 1, beat 1. I've pressed the button before I went da-da. I pressed it beforehand because you press it just a little bit before. It knows you're going to go on to the bar 1, beat 1, the very first bar of the beat. So this is really handy because I don't have to be in time by pressing the button as long as I sort of get it. And you can even dictate how many bars it is so it automatically closes off. I haven't got it set up like that, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the drum beat rhythm slightly. So we have recording right now. I'm setting the BPM. You ready? Now, what happened there? What happened there was I pressed the button and just went, go for it. And where I think is bar 1, beat 1, it doesn't. So you have to be aware of the red flash. Do Do you notice this camera is sort of updating it? It's got green, 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 red, green, 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 red. You have to be aware that you need to wait for it to go back to bar 1, beat 1. Because if I press this now, I was 2 beats early. So let's do this again. I did that deliberately because I just wanted to hit it and just go as quickly as possible, and that's what people do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit it, we're going to wait, and we're going to hear it in our heads. We're going to count. Okay, so 1. There we go. So our beat's down, right? So this one is, so that beat, you can see obviously when this goes round, and some loopers do it in a different way, but this one, if I press this one, watch the loop here, watch this loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So that loop is 2 bars long, okay? The bass line, well, hey! The bass line, I forgot that did that. This is the new camera thing, isn't it, with thinking that it's on a FaceTime call. What happens if I... Was it that? It was, wasn't it? Yeah. This is the new Mac thing. I forgot it did this. Oh, my goodness. All right, okay. Hooray! I clap. Does it do the clap thing? No, it's not doing it. Oh, well, anyway. That's hilarious. I can put balloons on. I didn't even know that did that. This is what happens when you upgrade your Mac and you don't play around with the new features. Anyway, moving on. Even though it's using my different camera, it's picking it up. It's so funny. Oh, that's made my day. Right, where was I? Yeah, so this first loop is 2 bars, okay? So count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. I know it is because it went all the way around. The bass is 4 bars long. How do I know that? Because I know, because I played it. But just to show you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. It hasn't gone all the way around. 4, 2, 3, 4. Right? So then we now know. So that's 2 bars long. That's 4 bars long. And then if I added something else on top, depends on how many bars I'm going to do. But I'm going to add on my little effect here. Superstition, writings on the wall. Very superstition, as about to fall. 15-month-old baby, put that looking glass. 7 years of bad luck. Good things in your past. Things that you don't understand when you suffer, yeah. Superstition ain't the way. So there we go. So you can do lots of different things with this, and it depends on what looper you've got. Different loopers have different phases. You've got 2 phases, 3 phases, 6 phases, whatever, loops, tracks, whatever you want to call them. And you need to understand where the loop is in the loop, if that makes sense. So if I showed you before, if I did the loop, there's a little thing flying around. Be still, moth. I've probably scared it with all the bass that's coming through. It's probably come out one of the pockets here or something. But you need to understand where you are in the loop before if you just go for it, then you may actually start recording after you've started playing, or you play too early, and then you'll have that situation where we had before. So I wanted people to understand that. I hope that makes sense to everyone. And I was also building up Superstition by Stevie Wonder. I'll probably get a copyright claim there, but never mind. Anyway, hilarious part, 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I got a copyright claim on my live stream. Never mind, because it was a copyright claim for my own song. So DistroKid was able to find the content ID for that and went, oh, that's JP's song. What are you doing playing it? I'm like, I'm JP. It's okay. Don't worry. You can share it with me. It's fine. I think that's probably the biggest one. Yeah, I realized that I really screwed up the timing, and then I have to start practicing. Absolutely. Practice is everything. And it's annoying. Timing is everything. It took me ages to get a loop down that I was actually happy with. And this is it. Once you get your first loop down, that's gold, and that's it then. All the other loops should follow suit, really. It should follow in. It's getting the first one down. Also, when you have a tempo set, the looper can help you out by quantizing the loop length of the bar. It can. So if you hit the pedal a little early, it's going to save your ass. It is, and that's exactly what happens. So if you've got the tempo doing the work, as you saw before, I hit the button just early when we started this, so I can actually do it early and hit it a little bit late, and it goes, you meant you hit it like there and there, but what you really meant was I'm doing the drums to there. That's what you meant, really. And early loopers 10, 12 years ago, they didn't do that. It was just like, there's the loop, there's the end, tough. There's real basic loopers bundled in with other things, and those basic loopers are like the early loopers. And people go, oh, it's got a looper on board, I'll have a go. And then you go, oh, I don't like it, it's rubbish, I don't like looping. It's not that you don't like looping, it's just that basically maybe that's not the right looper, or maybe that looper's just a bit old. It hasn't got newer features on board, like quantization. So you might find that actually looping is what you want to do, but your first instance of looping is just a rubbish looper. My first looper was the looper that Katie Tunstall used, which is the Akai Headrush E2. It took me ages to figure out what that was. Me and my dad just was like, when we first saw her, like, oh my God, when we first saw her play. So like, I wanted to know what that looper, what that pedal was, and found out what it was. It had no undo, has no quantization. It's a one-phrase looper. I think it's just 30 seconds, and then you have to erase it. It had one jack in, so if you want a microphone in, you need a little mini mixer to go next to it. So going forward to things like the RC5, the 500, the 600, the 202, the 505, all the Boss ones, the Headrush looper boards, and the latest ones, Loopy Pro on the iPad, all these different ones. They've got so many cool things in now that help you along the way. And I think Piers has just said that, actually, fun enough. It's amazing how much gear can help you out with dumbing everything down. In the end, you end up getting good laying down initial loop, but you don't have to. Yeah, absolutely. From the very beginning, you can still make music and have fun. Absolutely, and I think it's more about creativity. Yeah, this is a good point. I was just talking about Katie Tunstall. The more you learn about Black Horse and the Cherry Tree performance on later, the more impressive it gets. If you learn about that looper, and then you actually go and watch that performance, I think it was her first TV performance, which was on later, with Jules Holland. It's incredible that she just got it bang on, and it was spot on. There's so many things that could have gone wrong with that, and it was a really, really great. There's good performances, and there's just amazing performance, and that was just an amazing performance. Either she just knew that looper so well, or she got a little bit lucky. I don't think she just got a bit lucky. I think she's a very talented artist. I think she's a brilliant artist. I'd love to interview her on our loop series, which is called How Do You Loop? So if you're not sure or weren't aware, we have a podcast, which is a video podcast. It started just as a series, but now it's cool to say it's a podcast. And it got turned into a podcast as well, but it's also a video podcast, which is called How Do You Loop? And we interview loop artists. So if you're into looping, then if you want to have a look, then you're able to have a look. There we go. Nice job. Is Piers a major sponsor? Asking for a friend. I would say invested. But Me and Pierce have a good to and fro, and I'm really happy to chat along with Pierce. So there we go. If so much so that when we did we did a live stream. I did a live stream, I should say, and there was people in the chat just like you guys are today, and we ended up doing this, which is the album which is called Looping My Brain, and it's actually from a live stream. And then this is the tracks, and you can see that one of them is called Pierce's Dinner, which went beep bop boop ba beep bop boop ba beep bop boop ba. And there's loads of other people on there as well. There's Australian Ray. There's The Cats Are Fighting. This Is Your Fault, Trevor. There's all kinds on there. So if you want to have a look, that's all on major streaming sites. You can go and listen to that as well. And it's all live. It's all unrehearsed. I didn't know what sounds we were going to make. And then people put stuff in the chat, and we just started doing it. It was fun. So I thought, well, let's just pull the audio from that, and I can release it. And the reason why I can release it, those guys. I can release as much music as I want to in a year. You can release a live album, you can release a EP, you can release a single, you can release all kinds. It's all good. But no, we just have a good chat. It's all fun. It's all friends here. Grins and Bob. Nah, just... Oi, do you mean me? No. Anyway, moving swiftly on. We've talked about timing. We've talked about going from verse to chorus in a different way. One other thing as well that I get a lot is, what about these effects? What do you do with these effects? Because if I just did everything with the guitar and my voice without adding a little bit of effect on, it might sound a little bit dry because it's all the same range. Okay, so if I went as opposed to going, then it's a little bit different. I've just been told something critical. I will be 2 minutes. We're super professional here. Yeah, I'm moving the laptop forward and the MagSafe pulled out, and it's been draining ever since. So now we just came up with, your laptop is in critical battery mode. I was like, oh dear. By the way, these hooks are cool. They haven't moved an inch. Lacato, I did a video about them. Just a quick one, just a quick 2-3 minute video. They're nice. They hold the guitar as well. And you'll notice on Lime there's a little sort of like hook strap on the neck there. That's actually to keep him quiet because if I'm recording something, I'll get a little bit of reverberation, and actually it's cool to just get like a little maybe guitar strap or something, just wrap it round, and it holds the strings so it doesn't reverberate, which is quite useful. Now, we were talking about, that stream was great fun. Yeah, well, what I'm going to do is next week I'm actually going to do the same thing again. So we're doing the pedal board, and next week we're going to go over to the RC505. So if you're interested in tabletop loopers, we're going to do that, and we're going to have a laugh with just making up rubbish. Just see what happens, which is always fun. And I always do that anyway because it's good to just make stuff up on the fly because that's how new songs are made, but also at the same time, it gets you used to looping, if I'm honest. So I'm going to just completely make something up on the spot right now, okay? Not rehearsed or anything like that. You can tell I'm just mucking about. So. cannot see the light anymore. And I know that I cannot see the light anymore. What you gonna do when we are gone away? What you gonna do when we are gone away? So there you go. So just a quick thing where you can just loop really quickly and just get some creativity out. That's why I really like looping, because you go, does that harmony go with that solo, and things like that really help. And I think looping is a fantastic creation tool for obviously making brand new loops, and that's great, and making brand new songs, but at the same time, just figure things out, just to figure things out. If you got a looper in the cupboard, you got one maybe for Christmas a few years ago, get it out. Get basically looping, just like figure out, does that loop work? But in order to do that, you need to make sure, obviously, that you have, obviously, for very basic stuff, just got the timing right. For things like that, I was like, what sound's going to go with this? And I've got like a normal sound here, and then we've got this really echoey. Oh, I'm in a church on a Sunday. Oh, oh. So you've got different things, and I know where those are because, of course, I've been using a very similar rig setup, apart from the looper, for obviously quite a few years. So it depends on how you're going to do it. But let's go into what I was going to talk about before, which is effects. You know, from that song that I just did, that I just made stuff up, but the fact is that it depends on what you're using. Now, with the black box here, which is the TC Helicon Voice Live Play acoustic, they're becoming rarer and rarer, and I'm always panicking on the day where I turn it on. I just get a blue screen or no screen, because I've got loads of sounds in there that I like, and it also does the thing where you play a chord. La, 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 la. La, la, ooh. And it'll automatically harmonize with you. Now, this one is called high and low, and I've altered it because it's also got a unison bass on there as well. So if I go la, it's got la, it's got basically an octave down. So la 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 la. La 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 la. And I think it's fantastic. I love that. But then there's loads of other sounds on there as well that affect your voice or add something to your voice as well. Now, the RC600's got effects as well. It's got over 55, 57 different effects. And they are all the same effects, but they categorize them into two different things. I'm very aware if I do this, I'll probably get balloons again. Balloons! Yeah. Thank you, Mac OS Suminia, whatever it's called. I can't remember. Yeah, so they're all the same effects, but you can have them as two different styles. You can have them as track effects, or you can have them as input effects. So input effects is like what I'm doing with the TC Helicon. Input effects affect the input. So, for example, the bass. We've got this, where if I put this on, then that is affecting the actual input. Now, I've got that channeled onto the microphone input, but not the guitar input. So if I... it's not affecting the guitar, but it's affecting the bass. What I said there was it's not affecting the guitar, but it's affecting the vocal as a bass. So I can go. So I could sing the bass and play the guitar at the same time. And I sing all my basses. I don't play bass lines. It's just what I do. I'm much stronger with my harmonies than I am twiddling. So I'd have to learn things a lot. And that is what's known as an input effect. So here's another input effect. One, two, one, two. Again, not affecting the microphone, but is affecting the guitar. Oh, two, 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 two. So what I've done is, and I've said this many times before, is on the box as it's written, it's got input effects A, B, and C, and you've got track effects A, B, and C. On my version, I've changed it. So I've got A, B, C, D, and then track effects A, B, C, and D there. So I've actually changed it over. But an input effect affects the input, affects what's going in. Now, the downside of that is you can't change it afterwards. So once it's in and it's on a loop, it's burnt in, and you can't change it. You can add track effects to it, but it's always going to sound how it sounded. A track effect affects the track. It affects the loop, the sound that the loop has. So what I'm going to do is I've actually got a couple of different effects here. So I have to put a loop down in order to actually add track effects. So I'm just going to put a very basic thing down. I actually said boots the first time there. That was weird. So we have a beat. So we've got a beat on track 1, we've got a guitar on track 2. So if I get these playing, I can affect, now all 4 of the track effects are affecting every track, but you can have it affecting only one track, for example. So, for example, if I hold that down, it gives it like a little repeat. It's quite cool. You can actually add that into your song. Phaser. I've turned that one on, just left it on. This is really useful. If you want to do a breakdown, but it's the same chords, if I hold it down, it's basically an LFO, but an LPA, sorry. So you could obviously have quite good one for that one. Quite good one for that one is Dance the Night Away. It's only 2 chords, and it gets pretty boring pretty quick. So. All the way through. All the way through. So how can we spice this up? That going all the way through. Here comes my happiness again. Right now Watch this.
And tell you she wants me back. Tell her no, I gotta go. And she should see her, please let her know that I'm well. And she can tell. That's why I dance that way. It's señorita who can sway. And that's just like the sunny morning light. Should see her.
You get my idea, right? So it's a nice little way to add things to it, which means that it just breaks it down. It's like you're just turning something down and bringing it back up again by letting go. And you can change any of these for momentary, where you just turn it on, turn it off, toggle, and a momentary, so you can actually hold it down, and when you let go, it comes back, or it turns off. Or you can turn it on with a push and turn it off with a push. The other one. Like a ring mod. I don't really use it very often. Might change it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's your turn. Everyone in the pub, get up and dance and sing. Are we ready? That's the little breakdown because I've used the effects. See how good that is? 1, 2, 3, and... You get the idea. So, track effects affect the track. They're the same effects on the board. Some pedals have different effects depending on what you do. So the Headrush Looper board has things like effects for microphone, effects for guitar. It doesn't have track effects, so it doesn't affect the track itself. The clever thing with the 600 is it has effects for the track, and then you can start doing that. Now you can do this on the 505s as well, so you can kind of DJ yourself a little bit. So if you've got those two chords going around endlessly forever. Just wanna dance the night away. It's señoritas who can sway. And now tomorrow's looking bright. Just like the sun and morning light. And if you should see her, I'm not playing anything, right? This is just going and I'm just playing around with this. But it just shows you what you can do with track effects, because I've got 4 there, and you've also got banks of both input effects and track effects. If you had an extra pedal like this one or something else, you can go through the banks and change them depending on what you want it to be. So I've always had that question about, well, why track effects, why input effects? Well, the thing is, let's just change this completely. Go back to something, and I just go dun 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 dun. In the sake of copyright infringement. Now I can put an input effect over on that and lead it in, but then that initial loop is still going to be there with my vocal. If I did a track effect, I could do a bass track effect and turn that on, and I will turn that sound into a bass. However, it would then turn every other sound that's on that loop into a bass as well. So do I want that to happen or not? It's up to you. I don't personally. I want to sing the bass line, and the bass line's pretty defined for me. But it depends on what you want to do. Whereas, of course, this, I've changed it. That is a bass effect. Now that's been put in, I can't turn that bass effect off. I can turn the loop off, but I can turn the effect off. I have done, because otherwise it'd sound like this. But that's baked in now. The only thing I can do is play it or raise it or overdub on top of it, or use the track effects to make it more interesting. So there's a lot more opportunity, there's a lot more opportunity for you to mess around with the sounds on something like this. Now, obviously with this one, I've got sounds and that, and it's the same as having track effects. And it's the same on a couple of other loopers as well. They come with effects, but they're mainly what we're going to use as input effects, because they're affecting the input, they're affecting the guitar or the microphone or the keyboard or the harp or the trumpet, whatever you've got, going into the looper, but they're not affecting the track, the loop. So I hope that makes sense to everyone, because I get asked quite a lot of questions about that. So there we go. Pierce is gone. Well, I have to go and do things and stuffs. I don't get back before you finish. Have a great stream. I will, thanks. Heyo, what up? How we doing? So just before we carry on, if anyone didn't realize before, this live stream is sponsored. It's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. We've had a QR code here in the corner, but I'm now going to make it even bigger. In fact, I'm not going to make that one bigger. I'm going to put a new one up. It's there. Thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. If you don't know who DistroKid are, they are a music distribution company. If you want to bring your own songs out, or covers, covers cost more, but if you want to bring your own songs out, you need a music distributor. And most music distributors charge you per release. They charge you every time you release something. So if you released a song, then you did another release of the acoustic version of that song, and then you did another release of the dance track of that song. They charge you every time. Obviously, if you released it all as one EP or one whatever, you could do. But every time you want to release something different, they're going to charge you. DistroKid don't do that. They charge you one price per year, and it starts at $22.99. Now, I say starts because they have different tiers. Now, I'm on the Musicians Plus tier, which is $39.99 per year, and it gives me two different artists. So there's me and my mate Greg, called Tokyo Wasteland. So we release music like that, but you can also schedule the date of release and things like that. But from the very, very bottom one, the actual normal one, the $22.99 one, you get access to loads of different things. You get access to things like promo cards. Once you've got music out there, you can start claiming that is you. You can claim your artist profile on Apple Music, on Spotify, on Amazon Music, and say, hey, that's me. So when you release something else, it gets added to the same catalog of music, which is really, really good. You've got things like, I'd say, promo cards. You just pick your release and say, build a promo card, and they build like 40 promo cards that are right for Instagram or promoting it on things like TikTok if you want to, with videos. And then the other thing as well is you can actually have your music on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok as part of the different music streaming sites. So there's loads there, and it's never been easier to actually release music. You can just literally sign up with that link. It gives you 7% off. It's less than $22 for an entire year. How much are a pack of strings these days? It costs next to nothing to release your own music. And then you can release as much music as you want to for an entire year. I think it's fabulous. I've been releasing music with them for years, and I just want to thank DistroKid for sponsoring our live streams, because they have been sponsoring them throughout this year, and also this live stream as well. So that QR code is that QR code. So if you want to give it a scan, you're more than welcome to. If you're watching on the replay, or if you're watching live, give us a thumbs up. That would really help the live stream and help the channel as well. Helps me. Thanking you. So people go, oh, JP, how can we help you out? And give this a thumbs up. Just give it a thumbs up, because then that goes out to more people. It tells the algorithm that it's liked. The other thing you can help me out with as well is actually helping you out. So if you want to learn looping, you want to learn right from the very beginning, you're afraid of looping, or you've done looping before, and you go, oh, I'm not sure. No. Well, I actually now have a course which is called Master the Basics. It's a beginner's looping course. We don't just go over pedals, we go over tabletop loopers, we go over apps on your iPad or your phone, your tablet, whatever it is. And it is $97. And if you're looking to get into looping, this is probably, I'm going to selfishly say, this is the way forward, because I make you think about things you wouldn't normally think about before you even get into looping. So just have a think about the way you're looking to add looping into your arsenal of performance. So we go over lots of different things. We go over performance, we go over timing, we go over lots of different elements. It's $97. You can split it into 4 monthly payments. And also, on top of all that, if you put the word subscriber in the checkout, then you get 5% off. That's my course. If you do click that, that does help me out. And of course, it's going to help you out, because you're going to learn how to loop. With every one of my courses, it's a lifetime payment, as in literally you paid for a lifetime, not going to pay everything. So $97, that's it, no more. For that course, if I suddenly release an entire new chapter, you're going to get it. And the other thing as well is you can add comments under every video inside the course. If you're stuck or if you've got questions, I prioritize that above everyone else. I prioritize my courses comments above everything else, and then YouTube after that, and then obviously if I've got time for any other social media after that. So if you are stuck and you want to obviously, you're in the course, then of course you are going to get priority off me. So there we go. So thank you very much. Just want to let you be aware of that. There we go. Right, last little bit. The other thing that people keep asking me about. So this is midweek live loop. So if you catch me on a Monday, it's Loop Lab Mondays. If you catch me on a Tuesday, it's Tuesday Tunes. And if you catch me today, it's midweek live loop. The question I get asked all the time is, JP, you've got this big looper thing that's on the floor here, and you all use other loopers like Loopy Pro, and you use things like, you've got the Boss RC505. I'm very grateful to have both the 600 and the 505, courtesy of Boss themselves. So I thank you very much to them. They sent them to me to review and play with, and I'm very, very, very humbled and very grateful that we have a great relationship with them. But I also get asked the question, which one's the best? So, the 600 and the 505 have got the same brain. However, there's an app out there called Loopy Pro, and Loopy Pro, you can add as many loops as you want, as long as the brain inside your device can handle it. So which one's best? Well, the answer is that horrible one, which is it depends. And it depends on how you want to loop. If you're playing a guitar, and you've got your feet free, and you want to do looping, it's probably going to be a pedal looper, maybe, that you want to. I know a guitarist who uses a tabletop looper, so he's got a little pedal that goes with it to start his loops off, but then he actually uses a tabletop looper like next to him, because he prefers that, and he actually wants that, because also with the 505, you've got things like your volume control. Now you can get volume control for things like this, so I've got volume control here, so this little pedal here can control the volume of the loops. You can get a MIDI volume control and put it on here. You can get a drum thing and put it on here, which I've done before. It all depends on how you want to loop. My key element for anyone who's getting into looping, or anyone who's thinking of changing their setup, is take a step back, look at your songs, look at what you do, and then go, do I need this? Do I need a volume control? Do I need a tabletop looper? Do I want to be pressing an iPad? What do you want to be doing? If you want dedicated buttons, then you'd probably be looking at something like a tabletop or a floor-based looper. You wouldn't be looking at an app. If you are looking at an app, then you maybe want to have like a controller, like I'm looking up there because it's up there, the APC 40 Mark II, things like that, to control Loopy Pro, or a push or something like that. So figure out how you want to loop. Incorporate the looper into your performance, not the other way around. Okay, don't change your entire performance just because you've got a different kind of looper. And you may turn around and go, it's going to be tabletop all the way, definitely, and play keyboards, and I've got my hands to go, boop, that's great, no problem, that's fine, that's the right looper for you. You may find that actually you're playing so intricately, you've got no time to actually press the looper, but you can do it with your feet. So you may be playing keyboards, but you still want a floor-based looper. The other thing as well is, how many loops do you need? Obviously this has the availability to do 6 loops. I predominantly use 3. But the reason why I've got this, of course, is because there's so much more. And the other thing as well, certainly now, I'm never going back to below 32-bit float. 32-bit on a big stage sounds fabulous. And for those who don't understand what that means, it basically means that the gain is so high, or there's so much gain available to you, that when you start adding more layers of loops, you're adding more harmonies, you're adding more overdubs, things like that, it doesn't distort. It just keeps giving and giving, and it really, really is noticeable. It may not be noticeable on a small PA or a small speaker, but when you start going into bigger speakers and things like that, and you go in and playing in somewhere that's got a full PA with an engineer, 32-bit float sounds glorious, and it's one of those things that I think is really, really important now to have the sound quality there, as well as some good, cool features to go with. So that's my actual answer of like what looper is best for you. It depends on how you loop and how you want to loop. So if you want to loop with like Mark Rebillier and you've got a keyboard and you've got a 505, you want to get a 505, go for it. You want to loop like me and you want to loop like Ed Sheeran, you want to loop like guitarists and they have a floor-based looper, go for it. I know, as I said, I know someone who's a guitarist, they've got a tabletop looper. It's totally up to you how you want to set it up and what you want around you, whether you want it on the floor, on a table, and also the actual footprint of it. And what I mean by that is, like, this thing's a monster. It's huge. But you may go, do you know what, I only need 2 loops, I just want to put down a nice little rhythm and I want to twiddle something over the top. You might only need the RC500, or you may even need the Donna Circle looper that's a 1-phrase looper. I was just trying to come up with another looper that's not Boss. You may go, do you know what, I absolutely love the headrest looper board because of the versatility of that 7-inch touchscreen, and I like the combi jacks and the way it's done. So it's totally down to, that's why there's more than one looper out there, of course, but it's also the reason why you may turn around and go, well, I'm going to loop in a specific way. But my key element here is don't change your performance just for the looper. If you are going to become like a loop artist, as it were, like I am, and looping is your thing, if you're just going to add it to your performance, like you just want to add a little, while you play, that's just one loop. An RC5 will do that, no problem. You might need to adapt it for the mic, but you get my point. Or an RC500 or something like that, but or something with a rhythm, an RC10R or something. I keep talking about the Boss loopers, but you understand what I mean. So if you go, do you know what, I want to split everything up into its bits like I do, so that's the drums, that's the bass, that's the harmonies, I've got melody lines that I want to bring in and out, I want to do a whole show with a looper, then you're going to need a flagship looper. You're going to need something with at least 3 tracks. You're going to need something that can obviously hold its own. It can actually got the power to do effects maybe. And certainly, as we said right at the very beginning of this live stream, is actually being able to change from one memory to another really, really quickly without even stopping. So something with a big brain, something with a lot of power, like the headrest looper board, this one, the 600, the 505, the Boomerang, the latest one. What's the Aero one? The Aero looper, the Aero one that's got like 36 loops in one memory. Yeah, that one. Eros looper? Someone will tell me. Now, what I do when I play live, it depends on what I'm doing, and there's different audiences as well. So if I'm playing in a pub, or when I'm playing live on stage, this is the setup that I use for playing while I'm playing with a guitar, because my feet are free, and that's how I've predominantly looped for years. By default, I'm actually a keyboardist. Now, a lot of people don't realize that, but I've been playing guitar for years, and I play in DADGAD because I prefer it. It's easier. I'm probably more a guitarist now than I am a keyboardist, which is weird to say for me, because guitar was always the first thing, keyboard was always the first thing I learned. But there we go. But I find that easier to bring in this out than a keyboard and looping. So when I play covers and stuff, obviously, I'm making my own version of covers with the looper. When it's my own stuff, there's a couple of songs like Boss Castle I played earlier on that was designed with the looper in mind. It was always designed to have that looper element. And but then if I was to take the looper completely away, could I still sing the song? Could I still, if the lights went out now and the song went out and I just had an acoustic guitar, could I still sing that song? Could I still perform that song? Yes, I could, because it's a singer-songwriter kind of style. If I'm doing sort of DJing and beatboxing and doing like what Swizz Beats do, no, they would really need that looper to work. So it just totally depends on how you perform. And I just dropped my plug. I'm just letting you know. So you know where I was. I was going to play a track, but I'm actually going to play a different track. And this is a cover. And this is a very special song for me because it's what we got married to, and this is dedicated to my wife. This is Elbow, One Day Like This.
that way. Using words I'd never say. Only think it must belong. Well, anyway, it's looking like a beautiful day. Someone tell me how I feel. Totally wrong but very right. Kiss me like a final meal. Kiss me like we die tonight. Holy cow, I love your eyes. Only now do I see the light. Lying with you half away. Well, anyway, it's looking like a beautiful day. My face is shabby creased. If you think I winked, I did. Laugh politely at repeats. Yeah, kiss me when my lips are thin. Holy cow, I love your eyes. Only now do I see the light. Lying with you half awake, wondering what it is to say. Well, anyway, it's looking like a beautiful day. Those curtains wide. Daylight to see you will see me right. Oh, those curtains wide. Daylight to see you will see me right. Oh, those curtains wide. On daylight to see you will see me right. Oh, those curtains wide. On daylight to see you will see me right. Oh, those curtains wide. On daylight to see you will see me right. Oh, those curtains wide. On daylight to see you will see me right. Holy cow, I love your eyes. On daylight to see you will see me right. Oh, those curtains wide. You will see me right. Curtains wide. Daylight to see you will see me right. Oh, those curtains wide. On daylight to see you will see me right. Oh, those curtains wide. On daylight to see you will see me right. But like, oh, those curtains wide. On daylight to see you will see me right. Oh, those curtains wide. On daylight to see you will see me right. Oh, those curtains wide. On daylight to see you will see me right. Oh, those curtains wide. On daylight to see you will see me right.
There we go. So if you do have any questions about looping, or you're wondering, how does he do all this stuff, then obviously the channel is predominantly dedicated to looping. We obviously do a couple of reviews and things, and a couple of interviews. There's a fantastic series we do, which is called How Do You Loop? And it's all asking different loop artists around the world how they loop, what equipment they use, why they do it, how they do it. Go and watch it. It's it's now down on YouTube as a podcast, because it's a series of video interviews, so it's now a podcast. So go and watch that. And if you've got personal questions, then of course you can drop me a line. You can just put them under any video then that's relevant. That would probably be a good idea, so other people can see it as well. And then obviously if you've got a question, you thought, oh, I forgot to ask JP on a live stream, don't worry, because we do a live stream pretty much every week unless I'm away, doing some filming or on holiday or doing other things. So obviously, by all means, join us on one of the days that we're doing a live stream. I try and pre-empt the live stream and try and let you know when it's on. Whether it's a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So either it's going to be Loop Lab Mondays, to Tuesday Tunes, or Midweek Live Loop, which is this one, which is on Wednesday. So there we go. So I'm just going to play another song. And this is one of my songs. And this is... about living together. And it's all right.
Feel your touch. It's alright, 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 alright now. It's alright, alright, alright now. Now. Can you hear the birds that sing at night? Singing soft, sweet melody by candlelight. No, it won't be long till we see you soon. 3 more days and 2 nights staring at the moon. And it's alright, 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 alright now. It's alright, 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 alright now. It's alright, 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 alright now. can see my house. People are running around like a little mouse. It won't be long till I see you soon. 3 more days and 2 nights staring at the moon. Cause it's alright, 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 alright now. It's alright, 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 alright now. It's alright, 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 alright now. It's alright, alright, alright now.
Hello from Chicago. So that's one of my songs called All Right, using the looper. Just obviously that's below me right here. I watch looping and I don't think I could do it. Maybe we could make a better guitarist. Maybe it would make me a better guitarist. Well, Timothy, just before we obviously wrap up this, because we're just on the 2-hour mark, that's my course. I'll start that again. I have a Master the Basics Beginner's Loop course, which takes you right from the very, very, very beginning. So if you're thinking about getting into looping, you've got a pedal, it's in the cupboard somewhere, go and get it out. And then my course is $97, or you can actually split it over 4 months. So it's $25 a month. If you put subscriber in the checkout, you'll get it 5% off. And that goes right from the very beginning. If you on this live stream and you've missed the QR code, oh no, it's gone. What do I do? All you do is, if I can get it working, there we go. It's just go to my website. Just go to johnpaulmusic.co.uk. You've got the RC600 pedal course there. You've got the Master course there. You've got johnpaulmusic.co.uk. You've got Master Basics. You've got Loop Like a Pro. Loop Like a Pro is there as well. That takes it a little bit further. Goes into loop structure, how you structure a loop, a song around looping. But if you want to actually get into looping, then all you need to do is go onto my website, or just scan that QR code right now. It'll take you to the page. There's a video about the course to show you what it's all about. So if you want to actually watch that, that's actually on there for you to watch for free. And you can see what's inside the course as well, what's, how the course goes and everything. So there we go. So that's there for you. If you are thinking about getting into looping, then obviously Master the Basics is there. Thank you to our channel sponsors, which is DistroKid, for obviously distributing your music to all the different places. There's been that QR code the entire 2 hours, but that's that QR code as well. So thank you very much to them for sponsoring this live stream. And we're going to end that there. So thank you very much. Obviously, if you've just dropped in, this will be available for replay. So you haven't missed a thing. Don't worry. You can watch it all back. Once this stops live streaming, it'll be available as a video to watch, as a live stream video replay. And if you do have any questions, or you're thinking, what on earth is that thing, Beneath JP? Then what you can do is you can actually go and have a look, obviously, at the live stream, have a look at the channel, see what you think, and obviously, if you've got any questions about looping, then just ask me. Just ask me, no problem at all. We will be back. We'll be back next week. I'm unsure which day, but I will post it to tell you what day it was. It'll either be a Loop Lab Mondays, a Tuesday Tunes, or a midweek live loop. But for now, thank you very much for joining us, and have a good week, everyone.